Life. Life is a disease. A millennium ago, a supreme necromancer was on the verge of conquering the world. But you know what they say about best laid plans. Inevitably, heroes shall emerge. So, I was made dead. Again. But what does death really mean for somebody who has mastered it, Boredom. An eternity to ponder my errors and how close I came to victory. I am a mortal, but when this world ends, even I will know oblivion. And so, I ask myself, will I be given another chance to rise before it happens? Another chance to fulfill my ambition? It seems that fate has smiled after all.
Alright, hello and welcome back to another Let's Play. My name is Aiken and today we are going to continue our series of Let's Plays with a fresh game called Iratus. It's not that fresh, it is I think 3-ish years old. I'm playing it completely blind, I emphasize that, because it means I have not received any spoilers, guides, builds whatsoever. And the shtick of this channel is typically to jump into the deep end of a game and the hardest difficulty and hopefully survive even when you play it for the first time. So as far as I know, and that's all I know about Iratus, is it's a little bit, a tiny bit comparable to other tactical games. Most specifically similar to Darkest Dungeon, but with a bit of a twist. We're going to see how this plays out. So obviously we're playing the super evil guy, which is a nice little twist. So let's get things rolling. Start game, new game, Cakewalk, a mode for beginners, more pain, good always wins, and eternal harvest. Oh, come on, really? So that's a big first no-no for me. You need to finish the game on all of the difficulties to then basically move up. That brings me to a conundrum. Do I rather do a blind playthrough on this game on the easiest difficulty, or do I play through the game 3 times in order to unlock the hardest difficulty to then do a quote-unquote fresh playthrough on Eternal Harvest? Listen guys, it's going to be a blind playthrough. I really appreciate that because I like the freshness of games and the unbiased and immediate reaction to it. So we're being forced to start at Cakewalk, and God, would that be a shame if I'm not beating the game on the lightest difficulty. Anyways, let's take a look at what the game has to offer. So, minion abilities. Whenever I start a new game, I read through the combat text and try to figure out how the combat system works. This already looks like Darkest Dungeon. You do have positions, 1, 2, 3, 4. Enemies have 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, and apparently you do have a set of just basic abilities, which in itself is also known. I mean, Darkest Dungeon does exactly that with a lot of classes. So this time you're playing Darkest Dungeon, but on the Undead version apparently. So each minion has 5 basic abilities and 1 ultimate ability. To use the ultimate ability, you need this special resource called Wrath that is sort of similar to Darkest Dungeon. And why does the Undead say I don't want to fight? Okay, whatever. So we're having the same initiative, kind of ongoing initiative wheel up there, like in Darkest Dungeon. And let's take a look at what is available. So we do have attack. Describes how much physical attack we're dealing. Dread shows how much damage this minion will deal with stress attacks. So that is very much like Darkest Dungeon. Then accuracy, likelihood of hitting, okay. Likelihood of evading an attack. Luck, likelihood of crit or negation of crit. Armor, resistance, block chance. What happens if you block? Whenever a character blocks physical attack, that attack is nullified and the character's block amount is decreased. Okay, cool. Block is not bad. I like it. Ward, whenever a character that has at least one ward, that's block for magic. And initiative determines the initiative. Okay, that's not bad. Just double checking the stats here. So she's a bit slower. Does have dread and no physical attack. A little bit better accuracy, better evasion. And apparently you can build in a brain. Oh, cool. Oh, so you have body parts. I see. Alright, let's take a look what the abilities are. So, unassuming strike, physical damage, single target, ignores armor. Do we even have multiple attacks? Unavailable in the tutorial. Okay. So we can either smite 50% on everybody, or we're doing single target attack. So what does the enemy really do? This guy does have 8 to 12, 70% hit chance, a little bit of luck. Doesn't seem to be like a really tough guy. 4 to 8. Okay, so the miner is the more dangerous enemy. Fair enough. We're going to hit the miner. Strike him for 50%. Physical and magic damage reduce the target's vigor. Igniting deals instant magic damage. Okay, we don't have that yet, I think. Stress decreases sanity. Cursing a target will deal stress damage at the start of its turn. And critical hits by your minions decrease the sanity as well. That's pretty similar to Darkest Dungeon. So we do have a Scream attack, which is a pure stress attack. And then we do have a Soprano attack, which is 40% of the normal 19 to 21. And all enemies lose 6 attack for the next action. Okay, I think we're going to do that. Maybe on to the miner. Okay, cool. So loss of sanity leads to negative effects that weaken the enemy, positive effects that strengthen the enemy, and receiving any amount of stress damage while at 0 sanity can kill the enemy. At low level sanity, an enemy on the outmost position of combat has a chance to flee. Oh, that's cool. Okay, very moderate damage. 1 point of damage. Okay, cool. So performs an additional attack for each buff on the target. They do not really have buffs, unless I'm mistaken. They had a debuff, but that's now gone. So we're still single target attacking, easy. And we're still debuffing them, also easy. Down here you apparently see the debuffs. Good.
This never gets old.
Yeah, we're continuing to debuff because that debuff is like insanely good against the enemies. They're almost dealing no damage to us whatsoever. Oh wow, 8 damage because he could act twice. Interesting. Well, we finished him with a crit. And emerged victorious. So we got dust, weapons, armor, blood, bones, rags, a heart, skull, flesh, and ectoplasm. Oh, look at you, that's the Necromancer. So we're working for the Necromancer. We are not that super evil guy. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we do have talents, but the game tells us create 2 minions. Creating minions. After gathering parts of defeated foes, Iratus can create new minions for his army. That's a cool mechanic. That's a fantastic mechanic. Using parts of uncommon, rare, and legendary quality increase the amount of stat points. That is cool. With time, Iratus will acquire new minions, recipes, and various combat tactics. So, we got a skeleton and a banshee so far. Skeleton, fairly unimpressive warrior. Standout characteristics, utter mediocrity. While they often make the backbone, pun intended, of most armies, skeletons are so boring that they're never really acknowledged by creators. Okay, but they are decent. I think so far he worked well. Compared to skeletons, zombies, less damage, 125 hit points, a little bit beefier. Before Iratus came along, zombies were considered little more than fodder troop. It took a true visionary to realize the mindless mass of undead muscle can be used for more than simply bashing. With a bit of technological assistance, these rotting hulks were turned into mobile artillery. Ooh. Okay. I think we should look a bit at what these guys are doing. Physical attacks. Okay, well, it seems we really need to read through the abilities mostly. So this guy does have an ignore armor strike, a physical attack that interrupts stances, then a stance itself marks the minion, 100% chance to redirect any attack to minions. So this guy is really a tank if you think about it, and you get a little bit of health back. Then buff, target gains 4 armor and 4 resistance until battle ends, stings up to 3 times, smiting, shield banger, stress attack. Okay, cool. Then the zombie does have a volley, magic attack, can hit any target, a buckshot, physical attack, deals damage to enemies on chosen position and next to the position, so it's a multi-attack. Then ignition, which deals damage to enemy on the chosen position and next position, so another multi-attack, sets target on fire for 3 turns. So it's a dot AoE attack, interesting. Buff, 100% damage for next turn. Bombardment, attacks 4 times, each attack deals damage. Okay. And an ultimate. So this looks really more like a ranged unit, fair enough. Then Bride of Iratus, a design fashioned by the Arch Necromancer. Bride uses only best parts to raise dead. Archer with unhealthy love for creator. Love is channeled into a burning desire to shoot out the eyes of anything that might come close.
My undead tools can be made better, deadlier.
Alright, so she does have a physical attack. Pretty high physical attack. She can set a target up with fire, so it's a dot. She has Overwatch, meaning whenever someone moves, she deals damage. She has a buff, 10 attack, and dread until the battle ends. That is nice, but she needs to be in the back line, which is okay. Stress attack, where she goes into the back line. At least I understand it that way. She goes like all the way to the back and shoots someone of the enemy, one back. And then physical attack, which apparently hits everyone. Is that correct? Oh, that's the ultimate. Okay, never mind. Yeah, sure, of course. She deals a lot of damage. I really like it, but low on health. I think I would want to get her first. Then we have the Dark Knight. Also lower health. Manifestation of Living Void. Entire in knightly armor. Oh, he does have 8 armor. I like it. How much does the skeleton have? Nothing. Okay, what does armor do? Dealt physical damage, reduced by armor. Okay, well that is supreme. That also explains the lower amount of vigor. Alright, these necromantic soldiers are often seen leading armies of undeads against civilizations. When they learn... Okay, that's it. This guy is very, very well armored. Heartless Strike, a little bit lower on the damage side. Stress attack. Then Dark Tides removes all debuffs from himself and generates Wrath, which is good because then we can do ultimates. Future Hope stands each time an enemy receives a buff. They also receive stress damage, and then finally physical attack. Damage to enemies on the chosen position and next to the position. So a little bit of everything, really. I like Dark Knight, I like the Bride so far. The Banshee seems like a support character. Fear, Banshee has the ability, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is a pure stress attack. I already found that out. This is a nice attack to debuff the enemy. So debuffer is, I like debuffers. They are underrated, I think. Whenever an enemy moves, the Banshee deals stress damage. That's great. Combine that with forced movement from the Bride of Iratus, and you already have a combo right there. Absorb Fear restores the target to full sanity, gives mana equal to restored sanity, and all minions gain dread for the next action. This is also nice because this is here she deals like 20 dread, and here she effectively deals 3 times 14, so that is 42 dread. That is not bad.
For terror.
Good, then we have the Wrath. Looks like a caster minion to me. Simplicity of the minion is summoned has been prohibited by the Necromancer skills since the dawn of history. It's said that the very first Necromancer created this minion as a vessel for rebirth, or that the soul can answer Necromancer's call. Nobody seemed to have the courage to put these theories to the test. Still, the guild has been nothing but runes for millennia, and now up to Iratus to decide what he do with the knowledge. Okay, let's see what this guy can do. So, can't be in last position, but has a very strong magical attack. That is nice, because so far we only have physical and stress attacks. Then he has a stress attack, deals massive stress, removes all buffs from the target, and loses all of the initiative for 1 turn. Wow, that is strong. This guy seems to be operating best in 3rd position. Okay. And then Evolution. Wrath gains plus 12 Dread. So that's him going like 1 to the front. And Ghostly Wail. Trap summons Concealing Cloud for 2 rounds. Any minion within the cloud receives 25% evasion. So those are just repositioning abilities if he's at the wrong position. That looks like a strong minion as well. Super high damage dealer. And then finally a werewolf. Who doesn't like a big, bulky werewolf? Guard of the underground prison. Used to hunt prisoners for fun. Particularly fashionable. But a flesh-based diet, however nutritious, was not only healthy for creatures, but some of them died from gluttony. Well, now their pet cemetery serves as necromancers who revive ugly beasts. Fabulous. I like it. So what's his shtick? A lot of damage. No evasion. Looks like a real big damage dealer. Physical attack. Attacks twice. So that's already 26 points of damage, but not good against high armor targets. Werewolf receives luck, critical chance. Other minions receive luck and critical chance. So kind of a buffer as well. Then hunt down of the backline. That is nice. Massive damage, actually. Tear up. Marks the selected position. Beginning of next turn, the werewolf deals 300% damage to any enemy in the marked position and moves at first position. Okay, so this is a character who moves around quite a lot. But this year, like the ambush, that's nasty. Okay, so what are we going to create? I like to start with a tank. And we're crafting ourselves a nice... We only have like base stuff, right? Yeah, we only have base stuff. So we're crafting ourselves
Hardly
a
an
nice dark...
inspiring leader, but the dead care not for morale.
Good, then I want a Bride of Iratus. Dude, we're not done with crafting. Let me just cook for a second, okay? So she's best used as 3rd, 4th position. 3rd or 4th position, okay. 4th position would prevent her from doing ignition, but anything else really goes. What else do I like? I really like the Wrath. to be entirely fair, but it seems like this might be a bit of a too squishy party. Are we going to get a werewolf like on top of the Dark Knight? Like, she's also already physical damage. His abilities were magic. Yes. And he should be... Like, he can be at second position without being useless. Physical attack, magical attack. But his magical attacks are sort of weakish. On the other hand, he has 125 hit points, so that is that, right? Question is, do we want to go with a Banshee for like sanity damage, or do we take a backline damage overload with the Wrath? I really like the Wrath, so I'm just going to craft
The
one.
pact is signed. Let's hope there was no fine print.
And I want a werewolf. Alright, cool. So completely customized party. I do appreciate that that is not the starting party, but I want those guys. So we can look at the map. Is there anything else we can do other than creation at this point? We did have a talent. The kingdom has the need of vast riches buried underneath a castle, great veins of iron that promise to fuel the conquest of after conquest. Along with ancient artifacts from a long-forgotten age, the dwarves were eager to offer their service to the project, bringing their untested mining equipment and an experimental concoction for the promise of wealth. With the dungeon filled to the brim with both criminals and rebels, there was no shortage of slaves to work the mines. Drugs were used to keep them docile, and they dug even deeper. Year after year, unaware of the mortal danger that awaited them from below. So, apparently this is... Okay, wait. I'm getting way too excited here. Font of Restoration. Okay, so this seems to be like a really long dungeon. And this is just the first floor? Are you kidding me? Okay. Can you, like, do you always go up, or... Gifts to Iratus with random consumables. Fountain of Restoration. Battle. Dormant minions. Artifact. Oh, I think I want artifact. And cultists. Ooh, okay. I will need to look through this and find a way for us to actually explore the dungeon. Give me a second. Alright, I think I found a way. I definitely want to take the cultists and the mythical chest, and then we're just going to play it by ear. Let's go to the dungeon. Choose a battle squad. Okay, so apparently you can have multiple battle squads, so we're choosing battle squad number 1, which I just built. We're moving into the dungeon. Some enemies possess unique features that either strengthen or weaken them. Study the feature of your minions and enemies so that you can fight them more effectively. Good, this guy is going to act first. And we don't have debuffs, we just have pure damage. So, we can either swing 13 hit points, likely not going to take him down, he has 50. Or we're giving everybody a buff, which is not too bad. Or we're hunting this guy down next turn, right? Oh no, it's immediately. What does this guy have to do to save for himself? 4 to 8. Motivating others, so apparently this is a buffing unit. Okay. This guy here is taking a couple of slashes. Normal unit. And he's really the one that deals most of the damage, the miner. So we'll either focus down the miner immediately or the taskmaster. And I think we're just going to buff. Ooh, and we move forward. Like, why was that happening? Let's just double check real quick, because I want to understand. Oh, I did not see that. It's 1 to the front. Do we have going back as well? Oh, we just stuck in the front. Alright. We're apparently currently stuck at the front. But that doesn't mean we're stuck there forever. So, we got a shot. We got ignition if we want to do that. We got Overwatch whenever an enemy moves, which they likely won't do. And we could buff ourselves. And then this would allow us to put enemies further to the back. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about their abilities yet, so to suggest putting someone out of position might be overthinking it. Let's go for our original plan. We're focusing on the miner. Yeah, and we paid the price of being out of position. So first things first, do we have anything that allows us to go forward? Yes. Unfeeling aggression. Okay, I want to make sure that for that we need... we need to be further in the back line. Okay, understood. So if he's ever like completely in the back line, that would be it. This is a normal attack. In addition, deals extra damage for the armor that he's wearing. This is a stress attack, which we currently don't need. Removes debuffs, no. Stands, no. Okay, well, we're just going to normally attack. Cool. So, what do we have here? We got a stress attack. Removes all buffs. Target loses the initiative for 1 turn. Is this completely taking out the target, is the question? I would like to see if that is actually the case. So let's see if this takes him out. So, ward. Expected to completely nullify the next magical or stress attack. Interesting. Good, so this guy is now buffed for 20 accuracy and increased damage dealt. And we do not have a means of repositioning ourselves further to the back line. So the werewolf basically just stands in the front line for now. And since this guy is going to be the next in line, we're just going to kill him. Alright, I want to test out the Flames of Love, which is that ignition, which should continue to deal damage. Then we had a stress attack. Didn't we have an attack that removed all of the buffs from the target? Deals extra stress for each buff or debuff on the target. Okay, I mean that would be neat here. Enemies don't really move that often, but let's test out the stress attack and see if this already stressed out miner can be further stressed. Cool. This would give us extra concealment, which I don't think we need at the moment, but we are going for stress. Why is this not happening? Oh, because we're out of position, so I would need to move a little bit further to the front. We're really best suited in position number 3. Then we can actually nuke. Okay, still getting used to the positioning. These two backliners really compete for proper position. He's burning, that's great. All of our turns are coming up, so let's see. Physical attack, stealth buff. And since he doesn't have any armor,
this will be your end.
Look at that, he almost killed him. Good, we're taking out this guy, and it's relatively simple now. Oh, look at that, he blocked. Interesting. Okay, we have a couple of extra attacks. Magic attack, target can't move, or curse, deals damage. Curse targets for 2 turns, and dealing extra damage. Instead, we're just going to like physically abuse him. Easy.
A predictable outcome.
Good. After winning the battle, we're getting souls, parts, artifacts, brains. Minions who did not participate in a battle regain a little bit of experience. Oh, okay. I can still move these guys around. Fair enough. I mean, look, overall, decent performance. I think that the Wrath, I still need to get a better handle on him. Really strong magical attack. The stress attack isn't bad at all. Removes buffs from the target, and that I should have done with the buffed target. The curses are decent, but both Cold Grasp and the curse actually require him to be in position 3. So things are good. I don't like that the werewolf doesn't have a way of going back. That's a bit of an oversight from my end. And the Dark Knight really only can use Unfeeling Aggression if he's in position 3. So in a sense, if we start Wrath in position 3, that's okay. If the werewolf ever gets position 1, then we could just use Evolution, force the Dark Knight to position number 3. Dark Knight then uses Unfeeling Aggression and goes back to the front line. So that's cool. We're going to stay with that team for a moment. Let's look at artifacts. There are 4 main types of artifacts: weapons, armors, rings, and amulets. You will also encounter consumables. Such artifacts only apply for 1 battle, after which they are spent. At the beginning of the game, Iratus receives 1 random artifact, which is Scroll of Skullfall. Unlocks the secret destruction spell. 1-time use. Deals 12 magic damage to all enemies. Sets them on fire for 3 turns. Okay, that's neat.
Setching.
Okay. Well, we got the option to use that now. We don't need to create anything else. I think our team is pretty much set for now. Let's go into the next battle, which is the last one of the first episode. Mana is needed to use talents from the destruction tree. Mana is restored after every victory. Wrath is for ultimates, and spell power increased effectiveness of Iratus' spells. Okay, so here we got Skullfall, which is really just once usable. And we can pay mana in order to move targets if we so desire. Okay, cool. Did we have spells before? I'm not 100% sure. So Iratus is really the guy that is moving them, which also makes sense. So we see a couple of new ones. There is an armored guard, We're going to ignore them for a while, but 10 to 12 makes it difficult to actually do that. He's the new highest damage dealer. And we got a Taskmaster in the background, which we might want to kill. So let's hunt down that Taskmaster over here, who nicely blocks. You can here, feature. When Taskmaster dies, his allies recover sanity. Okay. Traps effect, limited use for a specific position. Depending on a specific trap a character occupies that position can receive a negative or positive effect, can be destroyed by certain abilities. Okay, understood. Don't like it, but it is what it is. So we can either stress attack and let everybody lose stress, but the problem is that Mr. Taskmaster does indeed have 2 block. Did you see that? And 2 ward, so he's pretty much, if we want to focus him, it'll take a while. So what we should rather be doing is taking out the weakest armored target that still deals damage, which is this guy. Alright. Here, on the other hand, we have a really nice situation, because the curse is one option, but the magic attack shouldn't be blocked by your stupid armor. So you are the perfect target for the Wrath. Wrath also starts with 2 block. Okay, I see. So, stress attack. We could really deal a lot of stress damage. Or we're going to get more buff by just starting with buffing. Overwatch isn't bad either, because I've seen a bit of movement. I wonder if that will pay out. So far, it would have dealt a bit of damage. I think we're just going with self-buffing, because that deals a lot of damage. And then we're taking out the back line. Okay, might need to take the buff off of him. Problem that I'm seeing here is this guy has 6 armor, right? And we're dealing only 10 damage, so it's not really nice. Deals additional damage equal to the sum of the armor. Didn't we have an armor reduction? Oh yeah, the werewolf did have an armor destruction. So, stress attack. Now we're just going to... You know what? Let's get the block off, and then we're killing the Taskmaster. That's a good idea. So we could now remove the buff. Target loses next initiative. I think that's a good idea. There we go. Nicely debuff. Remove all of the buff. Is now hopeless. Okay, lovely. With our freshly buffed backline, we are going to penalize the Taskmaster, and we are slashing him down. So all of them should recover some sanity now.
One by one, life vanishes from this world.
Good. Remove all of the buff. This guy is very low sanity at this point. Okay, this is going to hurt like a lot. Stance is okay, but didn't we have the sanity attack? Yes, we did have a stress attack. Good. Let's go with stress attacks. And even more stress attacks. There you go. He finally succumbed to his stress.
Mine is the winning side.
Plenty of talent points. Okay, so that sort of tells me we are ready for... Oh, okay. I see. Vigor does carry over. Ready for talents. Winning battle rewards Iratus with experience increased level. At each level he receives talent points that can be used for the following abilities. Alchemy tree, increase the efficiency of minion resource economy. Spells, which require mana to use. Spells that strengthens minions, so that's ire or destruction. Direct damage to enemies. So it's debuff, buffs, and direct damage, or just efficiency. Let's see. So for starters, the first mistake that many people do when they start a game is they just look at the top level. That's irrelevant. The real relevant part is what are the big things that you get at the end, the payoff. So increases the amount of wrath. That seems good. One additional part will drop after battle. That looks actually quite nice. Then after using Distillation, all minions deal 10% more damage for one battle. Okay. Now we're in the buffing tree. Deals 45 stress damage. Target loses accuracy. It more looks like debuffing, if I'm honest. Target loses accuracy and gains stress. Finger of Death. Target loses maximum vigor and sanity. Removes all buffs. Target loses all block and wards. This looks very, very nice. But it also costs 70 mana. Conjure Shadows. Okay, I don't know if this here requires an open slot. But it could kind of deal with fallen characters. Overwhelming Ire. Ultimate abilities cost less wrath. That's not bad. All units recover vigor. That's an AoE heal. Blood magic. When Iratus has 100 wrath, he receives spell power. And then finally destruction. Deals damage. Stuns the target for 1 round. Deals damage to all enemies, then sets them on fire. This is pretty much Skullfall is what we got as a scroll. And Rain of Gore deals physical damage. Target receives more damage for 2 turns. Okay. The thing that resonates most with me so far is Ire, because whilst destruction is nice as a help to get enemies down, this really seems like if you buff your allies, you are in a good position. Personally like the regain spell points part, but also the AoE heal. This seems very handy. So we're going to start with Drums of War at the start of a turn. Minion gets 2 initiative for the turn, and if Iratus has at least 25 wrath. At the start of the turn, Minion gains 4 dread for 1 turn. If Iratus has 50 wrath.
I need nothing but my anger to purge.
Okay, this one costed 2, this here will cost 3, and this here will cost 4. I see. So might be better to just take more base talents. Well, it's fine. I mean, these here are passive buffs. Generally, passive buffs are always better than active ones. At the start of the turn, minions restore 5 vigor if we have enough rest. So with Wrath stacking, this here basically gives you passive buffs, initiative buff, then more dread, and then more healing or regeneration based on the Wrath. That's good. Every time minion misses an attack, we gain Wrath. Target minion loses 12 luck and gains attack and dread until end of battle. Doesn't stack. And this one here, this looks good. 3 base attack. This just looks good. Maybe by seeing now how the tree works, maybe it's actually beneficial to spec into multiple trees. but do have a couple of like high-end gold available. And that's really it. That's the Iratus, the Lord of the Undead first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if that game looks interesting to you. I will definitely do the full playthrough, and then we can have a review together. Have a good one, thank you, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.